enemy. You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Lots of blood and gore. Always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel the force of blood in. If you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you let scars rip. You be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and
80 years ago, the guns fell silent across Europe. The bloodiest war in European history ended with the unconditional surrender of Nazi Germany. This was good versus evil, and good won. They came from small towns and big cities, the men and women of America, ready to die in places they had never heard of, for a people they didn't know. Why did this greatest generation sacrifice so much? Because they understood that freedom is fragile. They believed every human life had dignity. What would these heroes think of what Donald Trump is trying to do to America? Arresting judges, the breakdown of rule of law, a powerful state that disappears its own citizens with no due process, an angry leader who thinks he's all-powerful. They saw it and gave their all to end that evil. Today, 80 years since VE Day, let us honor the greatest generation by holding their values dear. They had different politics, but they knew right from wrong. They knew what it meant to be an American. Now it's our turn to fight for America, to stand up to a darkness that threatens the basic rights of Americans, a leader who believes he is above the law. No one is asking us to charge across a bloody beach. All that's asked of us is that we remember the greatest generation's legacy and prove we're worthy of their sacrifice, that we are worthy to call ourselves Americans.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. I know that was a good ad, right? It's kind of encapsulates what we're talking about as far as them trying to erase not only veteran history but American history or military history.
They're trying to erase America.
Pretty much, not pretty much. I mean, hell, they're even importing racists now from from South Africa. They're literally paying tax dollars to import white people who are upset that apartheid is over in South Africa. So they're coming to the new apartheid state, which is the United States of America.
I'm glad we've done so many shows digging into Elon Musk's background, because without doing that, I would not know that they are literally importing ex-Nazis, in the sense that these are people that fled certain areas after the war. A lot of them settled in Canada, like Elon's grandfather. And then when they saw how wonderfully racist apartheid is, they were like, shit, that was like how cool Germany was when we were like, Nazis. So they went there, and now we're importing people who have been known to be racists.
Unbelievable, right? And we'll talk about this more tomorrow with James, but apparently Donald Trump got gifted a luxury jumbo jet that he's now going to be using as Air Force One from the country of Qatar. But he's not out for himself. I mean, plus he plans on keeping them up, the son of a bitch. I was afterwards. That's
a gift from a foreign, not just a foreign leader. You are James and Jeremy will get into it more tomorrow, but the United States president is not allowed to accept gifts from any foreign monarchy or dictatorship. Right. This is literally from the Prince of Qatar.
They can't even get a basic ass watch. You know what I mean? Any gift has to be turned over to I believe the National Archives afterwards, and you have to get their permission in order to be able to keep it. Yeah. And they're not going to let you keep a goddamn jumbo jet. But we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Today's episode is more about making. Well, we don't have to make them look ridiculous. Just the GOP looking absolutely ridiculous and having no fucking clue what they're doing, none whatsoever. And some Democrats are fighting back. Well, a lot of them are seemingly useless. There are some that are speaking their minds. They're speaking out.
useless might not even be the right word, because I'm starting to see with my own eyes and through analysis of people far smarter than I am.
Mm-hmm.
There are the centrist Dems now are being open in there. We need to tone down the oligarchy talk. We need to tone down the wokeness. No, you're trying to fight fascism with centrism. And all that really is you think you will get picked for the team. But in reality, you're never going to get picked for the team. So you might as well just keep fighting the good fight. And that's what the people we've chosen to show videos of today are the ones doing the good fight. So,
before we get started too, want to say Happy Mother's Day?
We do. We want to wish everyone watching and everyone not watching a happy Mother's Day, because, it's an important Hallmark holiday, except for this one specific mother.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for her
demon spawn,
we would not have the hellish anti-democratic fascist landscape we have today. And to be fair, it's not like she really probably even liked this guy. He was a nitwit. He was just a gross human being. I mean, just look at that look of disappointment. Anytime you see pictures of the two of them together, she's like, man, I wish I made a different decision. And just in case you want to know what that decision might have been, let's take a look at how he's the spitting image of his mother.
Yes.
The spitting image. Yep.
Right, she's not orange though, even though she wears
probably enough, less. She wore like clownish makeup, but whatever. But
probably
she
less
didn't
makeup
wear,
than him.
Orange makeup. Anyway, so happy Mother's Day for all who celebrate, to all human mothers, pet mothers, and family mothers.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see Donald Trump's post for Mother's Day. It'll probably be Happy Mother's Day, including the mothers of the radical left lunatics
who we want to protect, but
destroy our country. I'm sure it is. I haven't even looked. I'm tired of looking at Donald Trump's post. Oops, sorry, hit my microphone there. But we do have a lot of videos to get into. One funny thing is they're going after like PBS and Sesame Street. And it's just so stupid, but they've been making fun of that. Mike sent me this video before the show. They've been making fun of Donald Trump for a long time.
There's context here, because when we say they're attacking PBS and all that, they're not just for some reason trying to make an argument that a public educational network is a bad idea. That's the argument that you would think they might try to make if that's what they were really doing this about. But you're going to see a video from Marjorie Taylor Greene, we apologize in advance, where she tells you what their real focus is. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's crazy. And don't worry, we have absolutely no videos of Donald Trump today. But this was an episode of Sesame Street from way back in the day, long before Donald Trump was in politics.
1988.
Right.
So this was the height of Donald Trump in New York, being this corrupt piece of shit developer, on a show that was based in basically the Bronx of New York,
Right. And this is a kids show calling out Donald Trump. And this is Joe Pesci playing a character called Ronald Grump. So just enjoy and reminisce a little bit.
Yes?
Mr. Grump, we want to talk to you about your plans for Sesame Street.
My plans? See for yourself. Out of the ruins of Sesame Street rises the gleaming tower of Grump.
Where's 123 Sesame Street?
I'm glad you asked that. It is now a luxurious boutique called, if you have to ask, you cannot afford it.
Mr. Grump, we don't think you really understand what you're destroying.
No. Mr. Grump, Sesame Street is more valuable than any boutique.
Yeah. Not according to my figures.
Mr. Grump, Elmo knows even a big grump like you will melt into a mushy puddle when Elmo tells you about our little street. And Elmo wants to keep his fur just where it is.
There you go.
On Elmo.
You want to hear something funny?
Right next to Whoopi.
Elmo's on LinkedIn now looking for work. That's funny.
Yo, that is some of the most dark dystopian shit ever heard in my life.
And he speaks in third person too. Like Elmo doesn't know.
Elmo has no life skills. Elmo needs a job.
It's actually a pretty good LinkedIn profile too. I'm sure he'll get hired somewhere. He's probably pretty qualified for some of these things.
Well, he's as qualified as anyone else in the Trump administration. I'll tell you that.
More
right
qualified. Now. I'm sure he
probably
knows more about.
One reason we wanted to today's episode a little differently and watch some videos with all of you is because we not only wanted to show some of the Democrats fighting back in official capacity, but we also wanted to show you the complete incompetence of the Donald Trump regime. His
God.
first administration, he still had people that he had to contend with that were doing their jobs for the sake of the Constitution and the American people. Now he's running our government like he's run every other business, which is a bunch of completely incompetent yes men that just delegate other illegal crimes down the hatch so that, they could just run around and jet set and live the life of kings while they're pretending to run a business. That's what's happening right now.
Have you seen her new Surgeon General? I was talking about this on one of the live streams the other day. She
doesn't have a medical license.
She doesn't have a medical license. I don't think she didn't finish a residency.
No,
and
she's not a doctor.
No, pseudoscience, which is basically not science.
We're going to have a lot of crystals and sound healing, a lot of meditation, which I respect meditation, but it doesn't heal cancer.
But she will be working with RFK Jr. Awesome. We're so cooked. We're so cooked. Oh, and also Mike is 100% right about 4th of July is cooked. Speaking of holidays.
Oh, that was a pun, by the way.
That are totally screwed. 90% of our fireworks are manufactured in China.
We sell them
90%.
We don't make
it. Right. We don't manufacture fireworks in the United States. Maybe
so
there's maybe a couple companies, but
you're not going to have fireworks for 4th of July. You're probably not going to have much food on the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to afford to have a party.
Right.
Yeah. So also right now, today, let's just say starting tomorrow morning, Monday, there are no ships from foreign countries bringing goods to the United States. Our ports are completely empty. We're not sending anything out anymore, and nothing's coming in. And we don't make a lot of these things because that's not how a functioning planet works.
Right.
Okay. So get ready for your wonderful summer of hell that Donald Trump promised you.
Right. So, that's why it's called a global trade system and a global economy. I'm sure it'll work out just fine. Make America great again, right? Are we great yet? We're
pretty great.
This is, we're awesome. I said on the live stream yesterday, like, if you're not from this country, don't come here. Don't come here. Olympics, cancel it. World Cup, are you out of your mind? Remember what happened to the last Olympics? I'm getting off topic. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because Marjorie Taylor Greene goes on one of her rants about trans people.
That's a good segue. Well done.
Unintentional, completely. But remember what happened to the last Olympics? The boxer who was born a woman was accused of being trans
because she didn't look feminine enough while she was in a boxing ring.
Right. So even to this day, Captain Dipshit, the American Clown King, goes around talking about this trans boxer in the Olympics, even though it's been debunked a million times over. It doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter to his people. But imagine if that happens again, and now they're in office, they lock this person up and send him to an El Salvador death camp with a bunch of dudes. That's what I say. Cancel it. I can't. We deserve it.
How about this?
I'm sorry,
I think we should try and put it on because we're arrogant like that. But I think every country that truly believes in human rights, every athlete, no matter how hard you have worked, I get it. I respect it. But there are times where your athletic achievements are not as important as fixing a coming fascist tide. And right now, every country, unfortunately, is going to have to bear the burden of standing up against the United States' growing fascism. And if that means you don't send your athletes or you as an athlete boycott, trust me when I tell you, more Americans than not will support that decision.
Right. Plus, then he'll just have to use taxpayer money to send him to the Olympics, and he's going to make the Olympics all about him. He'll probably have a nice little high up seat like Adolf did during the Olympics back in the 30s. But I mean, not even that. Like locally, like we have in my town, I live in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It's the home of the Little League World Series. We have kids from all over the world with their parents coming into the country for their kids to play sports. Why in the world would you want your kid to come to this country right now, knowing that they could be locked up in a detention center?
Wait a minute. It's worse than that because think about this. We're now talking so much about these illegal immigration raids that they're doing, I'll call it. We're forgetting that people shouldn't be sending their kids to this country anyway when schools get shot up every other Tuesday. Okay, you shouldn't be sending your kids here if they're LGBTQ, because we have a state-sponsored bully system against LGBTQ people right now. Okay, how about this? I wouldn't trust your daughters in this country because we have rampant misogyny and cis men just attacking women all over the place. But people like Texas said they'll stop rape, they'll stop it. If you elect me, I'll stop. All right, we have a bunch of issues in this country that are destroying human rights, and I would not send anyone to this country.
No, if you don't have to come here right now, don't. They're even trying to stop us from leaving. They're actually doing roadblocks at the Canadian border. I'm not kidding. They're doing checkpoints to see who leaves and why. So we can't even leave right now without being harassed by our own country.
We didn't leave when we could have, but I'm not leaving.
I'm not either, man. I honestly, though, if I had the money, I probably would be podcasting in Canada right now. I'm not gonna lie, man, because this country's about to see some suffering that it's never experienced.
And we could prove it because that's what the show's about today: the people fighting, but also the idiots. So we were talking about the trans thing. Do you want to show Marjorie?
Yeah. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
All wrapped up.
Right, I got grilling PBS because they had a drag queen reading a book, and they said that was sexualizing children, even though we know every other day somebody on the right gets convicted or arrested for CP or doing something inappropriate with children. And let's not forget that the clown chief was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for 15 fucking years. Like, why are we? And we have more of MAGA being unironic, talking about we're going to protect the kids. Okay,
because anyway, that's what their thing is. That's what their push is, to be able to attack trans people, everyone. It's notice their main thing now is we're protecting everyone. We're protecting children and mothers and families.
We're protecting the American people.
But they say. Sorry, some of these videos are a little long, but we wanted people to watch them because we suffer ourselves through this all the time. A lot of people don't.
Some of this is fun.
We're going to make you watch.
Don't worry, some of this is fun. But here's Marjorie Taylor Greene, who once held a hearing on black market baby organ sales. That's true. We showed the video in the show before. It's absolute facts. Crazy shit. She's a nutter, complete nutter. Here's her accusing PBS of being the trans child abuse industry originators.
Literally those words.
What the fuck, bro? I was like, what?
Ms. Kruger, specifically, as a mother, if I had walked in my living room or one of my children's bedrooms and seen this child predator and this monster targeting my children, I would become unglued. And that is how most parents
become
feel
unglued.
This is not the only example of them sexualizing and grooming children. They've been doing it for over the last decade. In 2015, PBS produced Frontline, put out a documentary, Growing Up Trans, that takes viewers on an intimate and eye-opening journey inside the struggles and choices facing transgender kids and their families. This means that PBS is one of the founders of the trans child abuse industry.
You know what's funny, dude? She said choices. Choices being the key word. She's saying that they're grooming people, but the show was about kids making choices.
I just love how she read that description. That description wasn't her assessment of the show. That was what was the tagline for the show, right?
Right.
And everything about that was like, this is a show on an educational network exposing kids to the fact that different people grow up differently, and we're going to learn about it so that we're not afraid about it and grow up to be bigoted, shitty congresswomen.
Yeah.
And then she was like, look, I'm a big shitty congresswoman. Like,
it's so bad, right? It's so
they everything that isn't in the mirror. They are obsessed with themselves being this perfect example of humanity and Americanism, Americanness, and whatever the hell it is. And they are just disgusted by anything that isn't like themselves. They are bigots. They are racists. They are, even the women are misogynist because they are trying to put back a world order where they have no rights. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene, the day she advocates for the last time to take women's rights away and they expel her from Congress and say, you have to go work on a pregnancy farm, she's going to stand for it. That's what kind of people we have. That's who's attacking PBS right now.
Yep. She's a moron, bro. We could
But
have
they
we could
fought
do
back.
clip after
And then
clip.
the women fought back, and Marjorie Taylor Greene reverted to her
Yeah,
typical.
well, this isn't. This is a different set. This is a different clip from a different hearing. But this was she was grilling a witness, and she held up a picture that appeared to have him showing the middle finger. He posted on social media. He was on his way in, and apparently posted a picture on social media showing the middle finger. Only problem was she actually they cropped the photo to make it look like it was his middle finger, and she gets called out on it, and then throws like tantrum like a little baby.
Like, did you ever see when you pause a video and someone's in motion and like half of their body's missing because it's in transition?
Right. This
you
is
look
hilarious.
At the picture, that's the first thing you're going to think of.
But this is the stuff they're trying to pass off to the American people, and it's so pathetic and so
these are
easily
the leaders that we've elected. She bangs the gavel over 30 times.
She has power, man. She's the head of the Doge committee. Well, I don't know if that's power or just being in charge of a committee that doesn't really exist. But yeah, here she is getting owned by Melanie Stansbury. Just absolutely epic.
Here displayed behind me is the post that Mr. Lefelt put up. Mr. Lefelt came in here today saying that this is game day. You're right, Mr. Lefelt. This is game day.
One moment. A point of order, please,
you're
Madam Chair.
You're not. Okay,
Madam Chair, I have a point of order. The document that you have up behind you is a misrepresentation of the actual post. It appears that you're trying to misrepresent a witness here who you use subpoena powers against.
This is not Miss Stansbury. Miss Stansbury, this is not a point of order.
She's literally holding up the picture.
Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized. Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized.
Point of order is that the chairwoman was lying and entering false evidence.
I know.
That's the point.
This is not a point of order.
What the committee does, you are misrepresenting the witnesses, you are misrepresenting policy, you are
Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized. You're not recognized. That's not a point of order. You're abusing the rules of this committee.
She's abusing the rules to point out that you are a liar, you are a scam artist, and you are a sycophant of Donald Trump. Okay.
Right. This is a woman who made a lot of money when the stock market accidentally crashed.
Yep.
Okay. And she's talking about the rules. Like, we have a convicted felon at the top of the list here, and you guys want to talk to us about law and order? Like, if you want to suspend habeas corpus and you want us to follow law and order, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it one more time. Fuck you.
I'm working on a small episode where I go over the habeas corpus thing because it's literally what Hitler did so that he could start rounding up German citizens. Don't forget, when you the parallels between Nazi Germany and Trump's America are that they were not really talking about invaders coming in Germany. They were talking about the people that were already within German society that were trying to destroy it. So when Trump is done deporting enough brown people that he can get away with, he's going to start turning inward to the people inside the country that are the problem. Like, for example, notice what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing, trying to pretend that PBS is a network trying to groom children. So guess who they're going to start establishing a legal doctrine against? Trans people, drag performers, LGBTQ. It's all part of the same plan. It's not that complicated.
Yeah. They're so dumb. They fired the person in charge of the Library of Congress, which we'll talk about that, I think, tomorrow as well. That's hilarious. Well, actually, no, I don't know if we're talking about that tomorrow or not. May as well talk about it now. Fucking, yeah. Because she puts inappropriate books on the shelves for kids to read.
Well, no. That idiot. What's her name? The one who does the
KK Caroline.
Yeah, KK Caroline. She actually said that Donald Trump decided to fire her, the first black woman ever to be the chief librarian of the Library of Congress, by the way. He seems to be firing a lot of non-critical black people just to erase their function, but whatever. Okay. She said that they did this because she was giving out books, inappropriate books to kids. So the funny part is The Library of Congress is not a public library. It's a government institution. It's a research library. You can go in and look at books, but you don't check books out. There's not parents taking their toddlers there to go get Sesame Street books, and oops, I found a picture of a drag queen's asshole. That's not a thing.
I know. Next time in DC, I'm going to get me a library card for the Library of
Congress. Yeah, I'm going to take out borrow the Oh, do you think that's how they got Trump convinced? They gave him a thing that says Donald Trump Special President Library Card, and they're like, "Here, we're going to take out the Constitution for you, or the whatever the hell he has hanging in his office."
That's so funny, but every time these people try to be serious, it's just you can't take them serious because they lie. I mean, she's the head of this committee.
They're lying
about a witness that's lying
about
there.
Evidence. She knows that was a cropped photo. She knows it was because she probably directed one of her
probably cropped it.
She didn't. She doesn't know how to use technology. She asked one of her little peons to do it.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. We want to talk about Kash Patel getting owned. This guy's useless too. Like these people,
we are so in trouble.
Right. They're burning through cash like it's endless. They're not submitting budget proposals for the following years. Like budget committees are not able to come up with a budget for next year.
People complain about Congress not doing anything.
This is why
going to see a video from a congressional hearing where they're there to do business to figure out how much money the FBI gets. And Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, is like, I mean, I'm just, chilling, man.
Yeah.
Why are you on my ass?
Before we watch him get owned by Senator Patty Murray in one of these hearings, there's a couple videos that I want to play that are just hilarious to me. One is they're being serious. Him and Pam Bondi are standing there and they're talking about how they're going to go after child predators. And these people are so obsessed with child predators, even though they are they are the party of child predators.
They are.
Right? And
they're not even hyperbole anymore. No. It's like every day.
And they're obsessed with genitals. They are completely obsessed with genitals. Jeanette. Unbelievable. Jeanette, you're amazing. We love you. She donates literally every show. Appreciate it. That's a good way to participate, doing the stickers and stuff like that. We get a lot of Danish kroners from Jeanette.
Hell yeah.
I love that we have viewers from all over the world. That's pretty cool.
Makes me happy.
Yeah. So
help us, please.
Yeah. Just don't come visit us right now.
Yeah, no, we'd love to meet you in person.
We would love to meet you in person, but just not here. We'll come to you. Fuck, actually, no.
Well,
they're gonna stop us from leaving anyway. So as soon as they open our phone, they'll be like, "Come with us."
How about this? Remember our names.
Yeah, just remember us. If we ever disappear, it's because of this show and what we do. Just plain and simple. All right, but here is Patel being completely unironic, unintentionally.
As his boss is a chief molester and probably pedo.
Right, like best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years. And Epstein was the one allegedly that broke off the friendship because he said Donald Trump was too shitty of a person. That's crazy to me. But here's Patel being very serious about going after child predators while his boss is one, allegedly, for legal reasons.
Our children. If you harm our children, you will be given no sanctuary. There is no place.
Look at Pam Bondi like shaking her head back there.
There is no place we will not look for you. And there is no cage we will not put you in should you do harm to our children. The prioritization of this administration and General Bondi has made it abundantly clear to child predators.
I hate this type of shit because you think you're going to have some creep out there going, wow, that guy, he really wagged his finger at me. I'm not going to do it.
To hear for the men and women
I know, that's going to stop him.
And it's also an acknowledgement of the safety that we look forward to bringing America.
Like, come on.
Well, they're talking about child predators, though. They're talking about drag shows and
that's what. See, they're not saying they're going to try and stop people who molest and do terrible things to children. That white men. No. It's just going to be now trans people and drag queens and the LGBTQ community. We don't want gay people working in an environment where they're kids.
They're accusing PBS of being the originators of the trans child abuse industry. And then you got Patel talking about we're going to go after people that are hurting our children. They think that grooming, their version of grooming is harming their children. So it's a lot more serious. It sounds stupid because obviously so many of Donald Trump's cabinet has been accused of sexual abuse that it's not even funny. You know what I mean? But these people just don't get it. They don't get it whatsoever. Yeah, Cash My Whip. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, but here's Cash Patel. Because one of the reasons he doesn't know how to do his job is because he doesn't show up. He doesn't show up. They don't know where he's at. He's at sporting events. He's going to his girlfriend's house in Tennessee, I guess it is. He's flying all over the country on taxpayer dime. But the one place he's not at is any of the agencies or departments that he's in charge of.
Yep.
But he does like to wear a badge. That shit's hilarious to me. This dude actually went and got an FBI badge for himself.
You know, that shows you exactly what type of people these are. These are the people that wanted the participation trophies. These are the people that have always wanted to instill fear and quote respect without having to earn it or do anything to get that.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Herschel Walker with the fake cop badge.
That is absolutely true.
Exactly what it fucking reminds me of. That him walking around with that fake badge. But let me play this video because he's nowhere to be found when it comes to actually doing his job.
I've talked to more than 15 current and former FBI officials and Justice Department officials, and what they tell me is they're very concerned that he's not taking the job as seriously as he should be, as evidenced by the fact that, for example, the 5-day-a-week director's brief, intelligence briefing that used to happen at 8:30 in the morning was changed to twice a week. I was told because he wasn't showing up on time.
What the hell else are you doing except having those briefings? That's your job.
And he canceled a conference call every Wednesday with the special agents in charge across the country. What he has been doing is jetting around on FBI jets, going to Las Vegas, where he has a home, and Nashville, where his girlfriend lives, and popping up at professional sports events, pro hockey games, UFC matches, posting a lot on social media. It's very performative. He loves that aspect of the job. He wears a badge, which annoys a lot of agents because he never went through the training that they did. But all of that is fine as long as he's putting in the hours. And that's the real question is he devoting himself to this job? Is he showing up on time? Some people are telling me he's not.
All right. I'm just pulling this up because this is one of the funniest things. This isn't regarding Cash Patel when he looks into the mirror.
He's got the chameleon.
He does.
I can actually. Look, I can do that. Hold on. I think I can.
No, but his go the other way. Oh my god!
A word on the street. This is rumors. I know we like to deal in facts, but I also like the rumors sometimes too. But the rumor is that he's so goddamn paranoid that he won't even have like FBI personnel. He has like his own personal security team.
How is that legal?
No. Well, that's what happens when you do a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying that he's doing cocaine.
But you're not saying he's not doing cocaine.
I'm just saying it's a side effect of doing a lot of cocaine. And maybe that he's on a lot of cocaine. I don't think that could explain.
Well, hey, he's got to stay up a lot if he's going to be traveling to all those sporting events. He's got to stay awake.
I mean, he has to. Somebody's got to stay awake because Donald Trump's falling in the fucking sleep.
Yo, he's the
with world leaders.
He's the sleepiest.
Don't ever talk about Sleepy Joe again. I will find this video and we will play it tomorrow with me and James of Donald Trump literally falling asleep. He fell asleep at the Pope's funeral. We saw that clip, but he also has been falling asleep he can't stay awake right now. They used to just wire him up with amphetamines, allegedly, or stimulants, allegedly, for legal reasons, and let him go. But now I don't know what they're giving him. They got to give him something stronger because he is. They're just gonna have to start feeding him straight crack up his butthole or something to get him to stay awake.
Should give him something stronger in my opinion.
Right, it's like pure meth.
Pamela's 100% right. The entire administration is living. This is what an oligarchy is. This is what a dictatorship is.
Bro.
They're all partying, pretending to run a country when they're just subpar humans. Most of them subpar men that have just failed upwards because they are willing to be criminals. And now they are in charge of our government, instituting a fascist regime. It's literally as simple as that. It's not any more complicated than that.
Donald Trump is burning through like, what, $100 million a month? On sporting events and golf and military parades.
I saw a report that said as of this point this year, they are $166 billion over budget by this time last year. So the people that were supposed to come in and take all your data to make sure that they're cutting efficiency, making it efficient, they really just stole your data, and now you haven't heard from them. Okay. Right. Donald Trump is playing golf literally consistently a quarter of the time that he is in the White House.
That's facts.
Okay. And the rest of the time when he's on calls and doing interviews, he's starting to say it out loud. I don't know what that guy's doing. I don't know what that guy's doing. He's telling you that he's not even running the country. He's just letting everyone around him do whatever they want, unrestricted, without any laws to govern them. That's what's happening.
Oh my God. People know in my house know I stream from 2 to 3 o'clock, and yet they want to come in here and interrupt me.
Got it.
I love my dysfunctional household. So, all right, but let's get to the video where they actually own Kash Patel. This is him in a Senate hearing, basically saying, I don't know when it's coming. Like, they're talking about budgets.
I don't know. That's like when Trump was asked if he swore an oath to the Constitution. I don't know. My lawyers will have to tell me.
Yeah, and then the funny part is she says it's like this budget proposal was, I guess, due by law.
We're here. They're at this budget meeting to go over
the budget. Right.
And they didn't even prepare anything. In fact,
he can't even give.
Yeah, she calls him out on it.
They can't even give her a timeline on how long it's going to take to get it. Like, that's crazy to me.
They fired all the people who do the jobs.
Bro,
that's the problem.
This is the most inefficient government I think we've ever had. Let's just put that out there.
I have a timeline on that.
It was due last week by law.
I understand.
And your answer is you just understand. You're not going to follow the law?
My answer is that I am following the law, and I'm working with my interagency partners to do this and get you the budget that you are required to have.
And you have no timeline?
No.
So, like...
Well, we also need a full budget request, not a single paragraph full of wild talking points that we saw with the skinny budget proposal. We're now having a budget hearing without a budget request. So, Director Patel, where is the FY 2026 budget request for the FBI?
It's being worked on, ma'am.
Have you reviewed it? Have you approved it?
His boss.
People
need to understand.
When will we get it?
That's
who he's being held accountable to. Get it from my interagency partners and get it approved.
6 months from now?
I don't know, ma'am. I'm not going to make up a timeline.
Well, how do we as Congress do our budget and our work without that request and without the spending plan?
A little hard to
think about
do a
that.
budget.
He's showing up to his meeting in the day where he was supposed to bring a whole bunch of work so that all management can, because don't forget, he's middle management now. He might be the director of the FBI, but he actually works for us. And the people that serve in Congress and hold these people accountable to do their jobs for us are their bosses. So he's showing up to his boss's meeting where something was due already last week and isn't. And she's like, when are you going to have this? By law, you have to have this by this date. And he's like, I don't know when I'm going to have it to you. Yeah, I'm following the law, but I don't know when I'm going to get it to you. So she's like, okay. When are you? Let me ask you this again, because clearly you didn't hear me. When are you going to get? Are you going to get us this budget that we have to do our job, to give you money to do your job? In that video where you talked about protecting kids, you can't do that without a budget. So when are you going to get it to us? In 6 months? I don't know.
Yeah, this next year is going to be.
We'd be fired. We'd be fired.
Oh, for fire! God, you kidding me? This is the most. These people are completely incompetent. None of them are qualified to do their jobs. Not a single one. Not a single one. I always have to point to the letter that our lovely leader of the Department of Education sent to Harvard, full of spelling and.
Oh my God! I love that. I should have made.
They just corrected it. Yeah, that was.
It was like
funny.
Literally written by a third grader.
Yeah, and she thinks AI is actually called A1, and that they're going to use A1 steak sauce to teach kids.
So you're telling me that an 80-year-old person who worked her entire life in the wrestling industry is a fucking idiot that doesn't know anything about the real world or, I don't know, education?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So we also have Kristi Noem looking like a complete idiot. Yeah. Senator Chris Murphy calls her out because they're almost out of money already. And which is also illegal because they're going to trigger some kind of, I forget what it is. He talks about it on this clip here.
They're going to destroy the government to put it in such disarray. They just claim emergency powers that don't exist to seize everything.
Right. So here's Chrissy Nome looking like an idiot because she also does not know what she's doing and has no business in the position that she's in. So let's play this clip.
I say this with seriousness and respect, but your department is out of control. You are spending like you don't have a budget. You're on the verge of running out of money for the fiscal year. You are illegally refusing to spend funds that have been authorized by this Congress and appropriated by this committee. You are ignoring the immigration laws of this nation, implementing a brand new immigration system that you have invented that has little relation to the statutes that you are required, that you are commanded to follow, as spelled out in your oath of office. You are routinely violating the rights of immigrants who may not be citizens, but whether you like it or not, they have constitutional and statutory rights when they reside in the United States. Your agency acts as if laws don't matter, as if the election gave you some mandate to violate the Constitution and the laws passed by this Congress. It did not give you that mandate. You act as if your disagreement with the law, or even the public's disagreement with the law, is relevant and gives you the ability to create your own law. It does not give you that ability. Let's start with your spending. You are on track to trigger the Anti-Deficiency Act. That means you are going to spend more money than you have been allocated by Congress. This is a rare occurrence, and it is wildly illegal.
Breaking laws left and right. I like to point out, though, because, again, Jeanette, Jesus, the Constitution of the United States, okay, it's we the people. It's not we the white people. It's not we the rich people. It doesn't even say we the United States citizens of this country.
That is so important. It says
we the people. So if you have 2 feet on American soil, you are entitled to those rights.
It literally says in all of our founding sacred documents that it is found that all men, obviously we understand that to mean all humans, are created equal, endowed with inalienable rights. It doesn't say citizens of America. And I think
it doesn't.
That's what goes. You need to see the people that will stand by that and die on that hill that it doesn't protect non-citizens. Those are your most deeply seated racist and bigots. Those are the people that would not save a brown child. Those are the people that would not go out of their way to help their neighbors if they were a slightly darker shade than them. Those are your true racists because they don't understand what the Constitution means. The Constitution was powerful in what it set forth for a country to be ruled not by a monarchy, but it said in those documents not that the people of this country are so important that we have rights. It said that every human being had rights.
Right.
And that's why we left immigration open the way we did, because we felt that people anywhere should come here to live in a free country to enjoy those rights together.
Right.
That's what that document was.
The one thing they haven't fixed, if not they've made it worse, they've made it harder for people to come here legally.
They will catch.
You know what I mean? They don't want to fix the problem.
But they'll pay for and bus over the white racists from South
Africa.
Though.
Right, exactly. You won't fix the immigration problem and help people from other countries that have darker skin, but you'll fucking taxpayer-funded private planes full of racist white people from South Africa. And again, the only reason they're leaving South Africa and coming here is because they want to participate in what's going on.
So
they're happy.
A old friend of the show just had a message on Instagram, Paul Stisler.
No, Paul,
have either
what's
of you
up, buddy?
researched how many shipping containers are sitting in the ports because China refuses to allow the U.S. to use them because of the tariffs? No, we haven't. And that would be it would be fun to do the numbers to show how all of our trade has just stopped to a halt just by the number of shipping containers. Don't forget, something that people don't understand. When regular trade was happening, the shipping containers would come from China full, and they would go back across the ocean empty because we don't produce anything in this country. Okay. So think about that. It was a one-way street. Now they're not even taking our shipping containers back because they're like, well, we're not going to fill it with anything. We don't want you to fill up our area.
So now we just have empty containers everywhere.
Ports open for trade with other countries. You hold on to your shipping containers.
Yeah,
so
but the reason we're cooked is he has officially interrupted our supply chain, which is fragile to say the least. So even the smallest of interruptions is not a good thing. We're going to be seeing like probably worse than COVID levels of shortages.
Oh,
of certain things.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody thought they were going to shit themselves to death during COVID, so they all bought toilet paper and Lysol to inject bleach and shit.
Remember when he told people to shine a light inside of them?
Yeah, he's like, maybe we can just shine light on it. UV light. Maybe that'll work. I'm like, oh God. You get to see the doctors on the sides going, dear fuck, this guy's stupid.
Anyway.
All right. Real quick, just want to take because we only have 15 minutes left, and I forgot to do it at the halfway mark. If you guys would like to help us out and help us build our channel, build our studio, and put out even more content, if you guys watched over the last week, you can tell that we've invested pretty much all the time and effort we have into trying to make something of this channel. If you'd like to do that, because we don't turn our ads on for the live shows, and pretty much everything we do is live except for the shorts that we do. So we don't make any money on our videos. So if you want to help us out, you can go to our link tree. I think I might have put my Cash App in there too, because it's literally the only two things I could think of. So our link tree has our GoFundMe information. If you want to donate, any donations are appreciated. Some of you have donated multiple times. Please stop. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It just feels weird. I love you guys, and thank you so much. We do. I'm just kidding.
Awkward, to be honest.
It does feel weird, but you guys see that we're trying to build something here. And a lot of you guys have been down with us since the beginning. So this is special to us. It's not just a show. Like, we're talking about a movement. Like, we helped, with the rally that we just went to. Like, we have big plans and stuff that we want to do, and we're tired of not being able to do it. Yep. So help is greatly appreciated. All right. So moving on to some of the people that are speaking out. We have AOC and Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, I'll play first.
Man, I love her. Do you know what she said recently? That the Democratic Party is looking for the safest white guy to run in 2028. And you know what? Democratic leadership is absolutely looking for the safest white guy to run in 2028, because they have an entire pool of young progressives, almost all of them not white, who are infinitely more intelligent, educated, motivated, and badass than anyone else in the Democratic Party, and they are not being considered for leadership, and it is a problem.
I just have a feeling it's going to be Gavin Newsom. I have a feeling it's going to be Gavin Newsom.
I know. And as much as I thought that was a good idea a while ago, he's becoming a little too. I don't trust him. I don't know.
Yeah. To me, there's something about him that I'm just kind of like off on. But no, I think they're afraid to run anybody, woman or black or brown individuals.
They're so afraid of this, perpetuating the mediocre white men by just trying to play it safe and say, well, if all they want is a white man, we'll just give him white men.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's going to be a lot of racist Trump supporters that are going to be unhappy with Donald Trump after this and his regime. If we get to vote, will they hate him enough, though? Because keep in mind, they are racist. I almost said the C word. Are they going to vote for like Kamala Harris? Because she's been talking about running again. You know what I mean? That's the only concern I have. Like, I forgot.
And I'm
assuming that's what they're thinking is. Oh, I would vote for her again in a second. Yeah, I'd vote for her again in a second. She would have been perfect. Our country would be in such good shape right now if Kamala Harris would have won.
How about this? She wouldn't be accepting a plane that's probably bugged and going straight to all our enemies' phones.
Right. I cannot imagine how much. There's got to be surveillance equipment or something on this gift plane from Donald Trump, or for Donald Trump from Qatar. There's no way. There's rumors on Twitter, which is the worst place to start rumors, that Mike Waltz, and this is funny to me though, Mike Waltz is actually spying on the Trump administration for Israel. That's the newest one. That shit's hilarious to me. Now they're turning on themselves.
Well, they always do. I mean,
they do it every time, man. They do it every
just
time.
Consume themselves.
Yeah, I'll find the post if I can for this week's broadcast or for this week's live streams. Oh, as far as live streams go, tomorrow me and James will be on for the Derp State, but Tuesday Mike and I will be on the Sons of Liberty podcast here on YouTube, which they've got like over 80,000. They're almost at 100,000 subscribers. Nice. So we're excited about that. They actually asked us, which is really, really new. I think that's the first time somebody's actually asked us, except for like Tennessee Brando and them. But they saw us on Tennessee Brando's show and they wanted us to come on. So they had their people call our people, which is me. It's me. Well, their people called me or contacted me, and we're going to be on that. And then we do have some guest episodes coming up as well that are going to be very special.
For Tuesday, for all our regular awesome viewers, I'll be posting a bunch of ads on my Instagram, especially to remind everyone where and when to watch, because it will be won't it be earlier? Aren't we doing it at
7 p.m.? Yep.
So I'll let you know where and when, and we'll make sure everyone gets that information.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. So here's a video of Jasmine Crockett just doing her thing. I love her. I may have a low-key crush on her, I think. Yeah. All right. Let me shut up and play the video.
Gotta clear up a few things. Instead of the president cosplaying as the next pope, he may want to try to cosplay as an actual president of these United States. That means that he may have to do a little bit of research and decide that he wants to understand that he swore an oath. And this oath was to protect and defend the Constitution. That is the oath that he was supposedly taking on January 20th, as well as we may want the president to look into what the Declaration of Independence was about. We may want him to understand that there was a foundational document as relates to self-determination of those who had recently gained their independence from Great Britain. I would hope that he would maybe spend a few of these days in this first 100 days, and it is sad to say that it's his second term, that he doesn't understand that the Declaration of Independence is about this idea that we are entitled to the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. Plain and simple. It's right in their words. And Donald Trump and them are. I know. I wish they would. They're not defending the Constitution. They're not. They're shitting all over it. They want to suspend habeas corpus. Like they want to say they're going to do it, and if they justify it, it's going to be because Abraham Lincoln did it during the Civil War. That's going to be their justification. Like Jesus, these people are really stretching, ignoring all the laws and checks and balances between now and then. But because Lincoln did it once during the Civil War, it's okay. Oh my God.
It's just, these are the people like Jasmine Crockett specifically that should be the focus of the Democratic Party. Okay. I mean, we can go into a million reasons that the election went the way it did, and there's a lot of weird stuff, a lot of suspicious stuff, but I think it fundamentally comes down to you have to listen to what the people are asking for, and the people don't want mediocre white people. And to that degree, a lot of Democrats didn't want Kamala because they felt she was still too beltway, too old school. And to some degrees, I'm sure, maybe that is accurate, but we need young progressives that aren't afraid of fascists. Okay.
Right.
People that have known most of their life now at this point, 10 plus years of this racism and this chaos. It's gotta go.
We do need,
the centrists aren't going to do it.
But let's be honest, if we're going to defeat racism, like white people, y'all got to do better. Need to step up and start speaking out against racism. If you want to be an anti-racist, you got to participate. Okay, you can't just sit at home and be like, I'm against racism. That's not how it works. You got to fucking speak up, man. You can't. These people are being loud as shit about it. We have to be even louder than they are. I'm sorry. That's why I say, like, if you go to a protest or any event where there's a lot of people gathering for the common cause of saving democracy, man, get your phone out and live stream it. You can live stream. You don't have to say shit on the live stream. Just hold your phone while it's on TikTok or Facebook or whatever platform you have. We have to flood the zone with content, which I think is just one of the reasons why I keep wanting to put out more content. Is just we have to have more content out there than they do, because it is a media war that they won or are winning at the moment. But we are slowly starting to make a comeback.
The press room is filled with in the White House.
Yeah, Tim Pool,
right-wing influencers, not
the Pizzagate guy.
We're talking literal people like us, obviously, that have much bigger platforms because they're getting paid to be there
by Russia.
Yeah. So if you need to know where the next election is going to be determined, it's going to be determined on streams more than any other time in history. And it's important to get the message out.
Is the new medium. Streaming is going to be the next big, I mean, it already is the next big thing, but it's going to continue to grow. And honestly, it's easier than recording shit and editing and stuff, because that is time consuming. It's a lot easier for me to throw an episode together and stay on stream for 2 hours while I'm just reading through stuff. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier than cutting videos and Mike and I coordinating on what we're going to talk about and all that stuff. So live streaming, and we need people to clip stuff for us, is what I've found. They're called people clip stuff professionally. They'll watch live streams and then they cut interesting clips out of it, and then they take those and then they post all those to social media. That's why when you see a Kai Cenat video, it's most often not even on a Kai Cenat account. It's other people posting Kai Cenat clips. You know what I mean? That's how you get the material out there. So that's, I guess, what we're trying now. So anyway, moving on to the next big news story. The Newark mayor was arrested. We read about that a little bit the other day.
Gee, that seems suspicious at the same time that the Newark traffic control, air traffic control person was like, don't fly here.
Right. Now, this ICE detention facility, if I remember correctly, this is actually being built or was built by one of those private prison companies that Donald Trump's in bed with.
Yep.
And there are some legal issues and some permit issues and stuff like that, apparently, but they still decided to open anyway, which is why they were protesting it there. They were there to stop them. And then they arrested and accosted the mayor of Newark. And now they're even talking about arresting Democratic Congress people for participating or warning people. They're even talking about arresting Aaron Parnas.
This was literally
for reporting
protests.
Public information. Yeah.
They were standing there. And here's the funny part. It's not like it was just a normal day. They literally were protesting the fact that this detention center does not have the legal permits to operate.
Right.
And they're still just stealing people illegally and putting them there. Yep. That's what they were protesting. They were exercising their First Amendment right.
Yeah. So we have the video of the mayor actually getting arrested. And they did not. They came out with fully armed masks.
Like
some kind of
masks, by the way. Notice everyone's also saying they're noticing that the ICE agents are dressing exactly like the Proud Boys, who how many of them just got let out of prison by Trump and are probably ICE agents now?
I never thought of that, but ICE is Donald Trump's like new secret state police force.
They are his SS.
They are. So here's the video of the mayor getting arrested. I apologize if it's any bit disturbing for people. Just
Who are the agitators? Who are the ones causing this to happen? State-sponsored thugs wearing masks. Why are they wearing masks?
Yeah, that's crazy. Nobody. Dude, I've been to 6 protests this year, and the only agitators I have seen have 100% been Trump supporters. No lie. I'm not even going to say, like, none of us have tried remotely. We've been trying to have fun and just spread the word, literally, and build community, of people that want to save democracy. That's what this is. I've figured out what this is about, is we're trying to realize that we're finding out that we're not alone in the world. Yep. We're not alone in our homes. Because I think if you sit at home and all you do is watch this news, you get very isolated. You isolate yourself, thinking that everybody else is also afraid and also sitting in their home and
everyone's
also not doing
afraid,
anything.
But more people than you think are still going out and speaking and showing themselves in public in support of taking down this regime and defending against it and rebelling against it. And that's what we have to do.
I mean, if they're suspending habeas corpus, if they're going to suspend due process,
then we got nothing. There's no laws. Then we live.
There's no laws. There's no laws. So stealing, killing, raping, like those are all things that require due process. You know what I'm saying? But no, they want to suspend it because they think they want to convince people there's an invasion of brown people.
What they're also doing is when they do this, they're getting people so agitated that they can't wait for someone on the left to actually do something. And then they go, look what happened. Boom, martial law.
Yeah. And I thought about this too, like as far as, because I see videos online of microaggressions, because there's also such thing in racism called microaggressions.
Oh, yeah.
And people are like, well, I don't see black people out and protesting, or I don't see Latino people out protesting. And I'm like, this ain't their fault. Yeah, they fought this fight for fucking hundreds of years, bro. This is our fault. This is white people's problem. We fucked it up.
Other white people get away with this.
Yes, yeah, so don't you dare shake your finger at any marginalized community being like, why aren't you out there? Because they're arresting people, bro. They're disappearing people. I mean, mad respect to any trans people that are out in the streets right now protesting and online speaking their minds. I mean, for fuck's sake. But yeah, this is not their problem. This is white people's problem. We got to stomp this shit out once and for all. Nazism didn't die after World War II. We imported it. We imported it to the United States, just like we're importing
all it
Nazis
did is
from
change
South
its
Africa.
uniform. It changed its flag and changed its uniform.
Yep, nothing is. Yep, that's all it is. Different flag, same fascism. But here is Rob Menendez, who was in that first video. And before you guys take anything, Rob Menendez, I mean, I don't know the guy, but
we're not going to judge him yet.
We're not going to judge him because I don't believe in judging people based on their parents or their, previous generations, especially if they're different than them. Because you can be, you're not your parents. Okay. You can be different. You don't have to be a racist piece of shit if that's how you were raised. You don't have to be like that. But this is Bob Menendez's son, the senator who was found with fucking bricks of gold and shit.
And his wife was also
either
convicted or just indicted. I don't remember.
Right. But his son is speaking out against what happened. He was
at least his
there.
Message is right.
Right. I mean, he was there protesting against ICE. I mean, they're trying to protect the community. I showed a video yesterday or the day before, not yesterday, and streamed yesterday, but the day before, where ICE raided one community and they damn near ripped a baby out of this woman's arms. They took a 16-year-old girl, face planted her into the ground.
Yep.
And it was what it was is a couple of ICE agents got surrounded by the community because the people in the community don't like it when you come into our homes and take people, especially without warrants and any due process. So they called for backup. And then all of these other armed, big, badass ICE officers showed up with their guns and their badges. And they took a 16-year-old and slammed her on the fucking ground. Yeah, real tough, y'all. I'm sorry. That was totally off the topic rant there. But I'm just so tired of seeing these videos. It pisses me off to no end to see people getting treated like this. But yeah. So let me play Rob Menendez reacting to what just happened.
Waiting for us to come back. ICE brought to meet the mayor of Newark over 20 armed individuals. 20 armed individuals to confront the mayor of Newark along with 3 members of Congress. It was an act of intimidation. It was an act of intimidation not just to the mayor, not just to us, but to everyone watching. We know what ICE has been doing in our communities. We know that the president lied and this administration lies every day when they're saying they're going after criminals. It is not true. They feel no weight of the law. They feel no restraint on what they should be doing. And that was shown in broad daylight today when they not just arrested the mayor of Newark, but when they put their hands on 2 members of Congress who are standing behind me. How is this acceptable?
How is it legal? I mean, arresting elected officials
for what? Like, what's the charge
for their consultation?
Because they weren't trying to break in, so it's not like that. They weren't trying to prevent an official act.
Yeah, they call it trespassing.
They were literally there trying to find. Think about this: Congress members in their district trying to find out what's happening in their district, and they were arrested by the federal government. Hey, MAGA, you have your Second Amendment to rise up against the tyrannical government. This is the one.
Yeah.
Remember, Obama never took your guns. Obama never started rounding up people. Biden never took your guns. He never started rounding up people. Trump is going to take your guns because every dictator does. Also, he said he was going to. And guess what? They're rounding up people. Even though they don't look like you, trust me when I tell you, you are not on that list of people that's going to get into the golden patio or the golden ballroom or the golden castle. You're all going to be workers at best, which you are now, except you'll have less rights because you let them do this to your neighbors and didn't do anything.
Yeah. You'll be remembered in history, just like the Nazis were. Because that's who you support. That's what this is, the new Nazi movement. I hate saying that word over and over again, and I hate for it to lose any shock value, but that's what we're dealing with. They are using the playbook. And but yeah, I mean the Project 2025, that transitional plan, that's a 6-month plan. Yep. It's not a long-term plan. That is a 6-month plan. That's why everything is going so fast.
Yeah, they're blitzkrieging us and destroying everything so they could rebuild it.
Right. But I guarantee you, I mean, if they suspend due process, people are going to be on the streets. I mean, at this point, what the fuck does it matter? You're not going to intimidate us into staying home. Some of us, anyway. Like, some of us are going to die on this hill. It was, we're going to just do whatever we need to do to get our lives back. You know what I mean? For everybody, not just for us, but Jesus, I want my country back.
You just said something there, just along with you mentioned earlier that, our lives are so online now, and there isn't inherently wrong with that. What we have to do is remember that when we are online, we are physically separate. And when you log off, you're by yourself. You have to remember you're not by yourself.
Right.
And, the more we get to show people what's going on in the streets, the more we do shows where we have different guests on talking about their experiences, the more we have awesome viewers who keep showing up and spreading the word. We are trying to build a community, and what they want to do, what the fascists want to do, is fracture us into as small, manageable chunks as possible. Okay. But if we all keep resisting, if we all keep fighting, they cannot do it to all of us. They can't. They physically cannot.
We do have power as a people, but we only have power as a united front. That's why they want to keep us divided, because if we unite and realize, if everybody realizes the reality of things, that we're being oppressed as a nation by a very select few of people, then it'd be over for them. It would. There's no way they can stop 300 million people. I mean, come on.
You got to get people to see it before it's too late, and that is so hard to do, apparently, because that's what a lot of people have been trying to do it for a few years now, and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, and just so you know, I did talk to people in the crowd, because I went to another local protest yesterday that live streamed on YouTube, and I talked to several people that voted for Donald Trump. They told me they did, and now they're out there protesting and helping organize protests against him in a very white, old money city like Williamsport, Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? So he's losing support every single day. He's losing support, but you're going to have the sycophants that are just going to go down with the sinking ship. Whatever, dude.
And waving,
that's what they want to do. Honestly, don't
Trump
waste
or death flags.
And don't waste your time on MAGA anymore, please. If you want to do me any favor ever, do not waste your breath. Do not debate them. Don't try and convince them what they're doing is wrong.
There's more you could do with your time, honestly.
Right. Talk to people that didn't vote.
Yep.
Spend your time and effort on them and letting them know what's coming and what the reality of the situation.
Because there are still more people that don't vote than do. And whatever the numbers say, no matter how funky they are, no matter how suspicious they are, there are not enough people in this country who vote, because we know what the majority of Americans think, and they do not like fascism. They do not like Trump. They do not like all of his cronies, but they're still not voting. And we got to fix that. So that's who we should be focusing our time on.
Right. And do not blame them for what's going on. Don't be like, this is because you didn't. That's not.
It's MAGA's fault. And right now, at this point, it is solely the fault of people who still wave the MAGA flag. It is their fault.
Yeah.
If you didn't vote,
completely,
we're willing to hear your story, and we want to know why, and listen to ours. That's it.
Now, this is a good example of why you should vote, but this is not your fault. This is MAGA's fault. This is 100%. Every MAGA person you saw with a flag or a Trump sign in the front yard before the election, it is 100%.
And if you're white, get it right. We got to fix this.
It should be treated accordingly. You know what I mean? I have no sympathy for MAGAs. I mean, if you want to change your mind and realize you made a mistake, all right, cool, great. But I'm still not going to be your friend and be like, oh, everything's gravy now. No, fuck that. Good. I'm glad you learned a lesson. Let's see if you repeat it the next election cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of way to prove. So, all right, let me get us out of here. Love you guys. This is all we have for today. Hope you guys had a good time. Please like, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already. And again, if you want to donate, you can do that in the link tree in the description of the video. Love you guys. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.